Coming up tonight, Prime Minister calls on MSG leaders to remain united. Government interested in buying 46.3% of Qantas shares and land titles handed over to our Melanesian counterparts. Good evening, I'm Sandra Assam. The member states of the Melanesian Spearhead group today showed their solidarity towards the leadership of the Fijian Prime Minister, Bainimarrama, who is the current chair of the MSG. This morning at the Special Leaders Summit held at the Vale, the leaders and representatives from 4 member countries, along with observers, were given time to speak, and they all showed their support towards the chair and where the MSG is heading.
This morning, the leaders of the Melanesian Spearhead group were accorded a traditional Fijian welcome before they were officially welcomed by the head of the Fijian government and the chairman of the MSG, Bainimarrama. The leaders, Vanuatu Prime Minister Sayed-Khaiyum, the Prime Minister of the Solomon Islands, Gordon Darcy Lilo, the spokesperson for New Caledonia, Victor Tutungoro, and Papua New Guinea's Foreign Affairs Minister, Ano Pala, were thanked by the chairman for availing themselves for the Special Leaders Summit.
At the outset, I must admit that I feel humbled by your presence here today when I know there are so many pressing domestic and international issues requiring your personal attention and leadership back in your own capitals. I believe that this is a clear testimony of your steadfast commitment to our organization. It further demonstrates our solidarity as Melanesians in the advancement of our collective interests as a group.
Bainimarrama called on the member countries to stick true to their pledge and ensure that the Melanesian solidarity was never lost. He also added the group was generating a lot of interest overseas, especially with the European Union and the United Nations, but at the same time, there were people who were looking at the negative side of things.
I believe that our young organization has grown from strength to strength over the years and is already attracting the keen attention and admiration of many countries around the globe. It would also be remiss of me not to mention that our organization has also been subject to misinformation and misrepresentation by a few countries and organizations in their efforts to undermine our aspirations as Melanesians. We have proved, however, that we are determined to overcome the challenges that confront us as an organization. We must continue to impress our keen partners and those who are willing to listen to us that we are determined to deal with global issues with renewed efforts and commitments with a view to realizing the development needs and aspirations of the 9 million people that we represent.
Also present today were MSG observers from Indonesia and Timor-Leste. Fiji had joined the MSG in 1996 after being an observer for years, and Bainimarrama thanked the two, Indonesia and Timor-Leste, for their presence, saying it was a boost.
Excellencies, your presence at this summit demonstrates your government's continued interest to share our principles and beliefs and also partake in the strengthening of our Melanesian vision. We thank you for your desire to engage with our countries as we all share the same socio-political and economic aspirations and to some extent traditional and cultural values as well.
Also present today were representatives from Morocco, Luxembourg, China and Russia. The special MSG Leaders Summit officially ends tomorrow.
Government is interested in buying out the 46.3% of Qantas shares, which it holds with national carrier Air Pacific. However, Attorney General and Civil Aviation Minister Sayed-Khaiyum says Qantas has yet to make an offer to the government.
Negotiations between government and Qantas are still in progress. However, Attorney General and Civil Aviation Minister Sayed-Khaiyum says Qantas had showed that they are willing to sell their shares.
We are saying that we need to follow the mechanism that's laid down in the shareholders' agreement. There's a particular mechanism. And the way the mechanism is, in very simple terms, if It's actually done in a very quirky manner. Normally you say that if somebody wants to buy, then you make an offer, or the other way, somebody wants to sell. In this way, it's only, in this shareholders agreement, it's only a one-way thing. It's only when somebody wants to sell. So they have said that they want to sell. They have said we want to sell at a particular price. But they're not saying that it's an offer.
Sayed-Khaiyum says Qantas is not giving an offer but a proposal.
Now, if it's noted as an offer, then the shareholders agreement kicks in. And that says that when somebody makes an offer to sell, if the other party wants to buy, you go ahead and buy. Or if the other party wants to buy but doesn't agree on the price, then you go off to an independent valuer. And whatever value the independent valuer comes up with, that's the price they have to sell, and that's the price the purchaser needs to buy it at. So they are circumventing the system by saying it's a proposal. You can have a legal argument about that, but we said, look, we need to resolve this properly.
At the moment, Attorney General and Civil Aviation Minister says Qantas wants to agree beforehand as to where they will go for the evaluation. Government has informed Qantas that there needs to be transparency in the process.
And hopefully they will negotiate in all fairness and be able to make a proper offer, so we follow the system laid out in the shareholders agreement.
Since 1998, minority and non-Fijian shareholder Qantas has maintained effective control of Fiji's national carrier through supermajority and veto rights over significant areas of the company, including the appointment of the chairman, deputy chairman, annual operating budget, any expenditures, new air routes, variation to air service schedules, management appointments, employee incentive schemes, including bonuses, and numerous other key areas of oversight, control and decision-making.
Information Minister and Prime Minister Bainimarrama says media plays a crucial role in providing well-balanced reports as consultation for Fiji's new constitution gets underway, which will lead the nation through to a truly democratic electoral process.
Journalists and media practitioners need to be well-informed and well-versed with issues that affect national development. And in order to facilitate this, media organizations will also need to ensure that they invest more in the development of their reporters and editors.
Media organizations indeed need to invest more in their reporters and editors. Too many journalists are underpaid for their efforts. At times, they are just used and abused, untrained and unappreciated. To have a media that is respected, whose analysis and opinion matters, reporters and editors need to be nurtured. But it is also up to the individual. You must make sure that they comprehend what they write about. They need to understand the societies they report on. They need to truly grasp the issues, which at times have many facets.
Speaking to Pacific Island Media Organization representatives, PM Bainimarrama says Pacific media culture has faced hardships and that the problem was due to the lack of investment that is needed to boost and drive the need for fair reporting with more comprehensive media reports that enables the public to be well-versed on issues relating to national development.
The Pacific right now is well positioned to take advantage of global trends, and we are thriving in many ways. Our journalists need to be well informed and well read. This is both the responsibility of the individual and media organizations to ensure this.
The PINA workshop ends on Friday, March 30th at the Lagoon Resort in Deumba.
Coming up after the break, land titles handed over to our Melanesian counterparts, and Social Welfare Unit opens Fiji's first ever sewing center.